I did a video a few days ago about working at this new place this week and how they told me not to come in, which was very upsetting to me because it was communicated so on such short notice that it was within the hour of me being scheduled to make an appearance, during which time I had already driven down here and was left very annoyed. Well, I tried to write it off and say, okay, this is just maybe like a one-time thing. But throughout the rest of the week, so that was this past Thursday. Yeah, they did the same thing again. So Friday, I drove over here about what actually happened on Friday was that they had me stand outside with the rest of the employees, and then they pretty much told me at the end of this gathering that they didn't have anything available for me. And then yesterday they pulled the same trick that they pulled on Thursday, which was like having me, drive down here, and the like 30, 40 minutes before the shift starts. Oh, we don't have anything available for you. And then they asked me if I could come today, which pissed me off to an extent because I was told I was gonna. Basically, it's one of those things where you look at it where you're told in advance you're gonna work these 4 days or these 5 days, and then they try to like when they keep canceling on you on such short notice, they ask you to come a day where they didn't have you scheduled. So that's where why I got kind of irritated because I was like, oh man, I was hoping I could do these 4 or 5 days back to back up here and then be able to take a rest or to like just relax, like not have to get up every day and drive down here. So to know it's going to be extended by at least one more day uh, is annoying. But I was really thinking about this because I was talking about how, with the Rotten Society, we have these jobs that are like the key issue I've had with employers in the modern, like in the last couple of years is the lack of hours. A lot of jobs are just, they're hiring people and they're barely using them. I had a relative who asked me if this job has good pay, and I said, you are completely missing the point. You can get paid 30, 40, $50 an hour, but if you're only getting used, for a single digit number of hours a week, then it's not going to make a difference. But what I thought was so crazy is that a place like this purports itself as being full time, right? And with jobs that are more stable, right, ones that expect you to be in by a certain time of day, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, you're supposed to. Again, this is why I keep using that term. They want you to be committed to showing up at a certain time of day for a certain number of days, but in turn they cannot be committed to actually using you for those days. So in a hypothetical, you're supposed to agree, yes, I'm available, 10 to 5 or 9 or whatever, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but we can't guarantee that we're going to actually use you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I really I just think it's so sad how you're on time. You're trying to learn this stuff. My first day wasn't that great because they threw me in. I felt cold turkey. They didn't really give me that much instruction. But you feel like you've learned some things from the first day. You're seeking to implement it as soon as possible on the next day, and they just keep delaying using you again to where it just doesn't feel like anything's really changed. Not to mention the with those short notice cancellations, because even when I mentioned this before, even when I was with that stupid restaurant, they would at least give you the courtesy of like the night before, they taking you off the schedule, so at least you're not like as you're driving over there, oh by the way, you don't have to come in today, take the day off. So I to me it's just annoying because of, again, the short notice and how usually it's only after I've already arrived down here that I get that notification. Like it's turning into just a recurring pattern now to just expect to drive over there, piss out close to 20 gallons of gas, 20 miles of gas, I should say, excuse me. And after you drive down there, park somewhere, you're waiting for your shift to start. Oh, we don't have any shifts available for you. Can you come tomorrow? It's frustrating. Um, and really, it just goes back to this thing I've not really wanted to acknowledge, but it really appears that the only way to, I don't want to say make it, but just sort of have something approaching a decent number of hours every week is to just work two jobs. Like, even a full-time job like this is showing how unstable it is. Like, it's more stable in the sense that you know what hours and what days you're going to work, but you still aren't guaranteed to actually work on those particular days. And then I was mentioning how when I had that commission-based crap from was it a month ago, there was a guy who, and remember this, that's a job where they want you 6 days a week from like I think 9 in the morning to 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And he was getting in trouble because he would show up late to the meetings in the morning. And he was explaining to one of the guys that, I work another job after I leave from here at night. And I have to make ends meet somehow because with this job I haven't received any paycheck because I mentioned that it was going to be 3 weeks before we were paid. So it was so crazy to me that like he was working a full-time 6 days a week job on top of this other thing in the afternoon or evening or whatever, and that was like causing him to have very little time to actually go to sleep. So it's wild, man. It's really sad just how much people have to do to try and make a little itty bitty amount of money to where they can possibly live off of it. It's all just so sick.